Welcome back. So, in our Cypress with TypeScript series, today we are going to see a new topic that is custom commands. Now, what are the custom commands and how do we create different type of custom commands? Okay, so just to give you a brief about the commands, basically in the Cypress refers to these are the commands means the methods available for Cypress like your get, widget, and each command will have its own parameters. You can give one parameter or two parameter, however the method is designed. Now another criteria would be like whether the methods are available directly out of the sci command, or is it like a chained off like a child command. Like for an instance, type method you cannot use with the sci command directly. It has to go through another command like get is kind of a parent command which you can directly use with sci, but type you cannot use that. The same thing for widget, it is a direct command to the sci. So these are the different kinds of what you call commands that are already present with Cypress, but Cypress is giving you an API or a way to create your own commands. Okay, so that is what we are going to see, and I will let you know how to take benefit of that, what are the uses, and how it is making your life easy when you are automating with respect to Cypress. Okay, so for this, first thing is that we need to create a new file. So for this, what I'm going to do in this, I will create a new folder, and here I will say custom commands. Okay, and it's just a folder, I'm not giving any extension. And let's create a new file, and this file I'll just give command samples dot ts, because we are going to see all the TypeScript related commands. Okay, now what I will do here, I'll just copy this one for easy access. Now this is my the template that I'm going to use it. So I'm going to use this site, and let me quickly copy paste here into this, and instead of this one I will show you different type of websites as and when it is required. Okay, let me show you what kind of different commands we can customize it or create on our own. So as you can see, Cypress is giving you already a template or the examples like a dummy examples. One is a parent command means like your visit, okay, where you can use it directly with the sci object. So sci dot any xyz command or method you can use it. Another would be your child command. Child command is basically which we don't use directly with your sci command. You have to use sci dot get some element locator dot this particular child command. So okay, that is another different. Like one example I could give you, if you are using find. Now find you cannot use with sci, it has to go with sci dot get dot find. So that is how. Now find is a child method, so you can create your own custom commands or methods based on a child command. Dual commands, like you can use it along with your sci command, or you can use it along with a parent command as well. Okay, another would be your like overriding any existing method, means there is already a predefined method like your visit, type, clear, all those methods are there. You really don't like the way Cypress is implemented, you want to customize it and add some more features to that. Yes, you can do that as well. And all these different kind of commands you can add it or you can mention in your support and command.js. Okay, so whenever you are installing your Cypress and opening this Cypress or running your Cypress, you will be getting a folder structure, right? We already seen this one in our beginning video sessions where Cypress gives you these the folder structure. So if you traverse to the support and command.js, this is the command.js content, everything is commented out, it is just giving you a template. You can use that and add your own functionalities. Okay, now what is index.js? Okay, so this index.js basically tells you what kind of different files there where you are writing all these methods. Okay, it is command.js, you can see the path is given here. Let's say that tomorrow you want to, I mean, you have 100 different methods which you have created, maybe for shortcut purpose, or maybe you want to add some other functionality, and all those 100 different methods you don't want to add it into a single file. What you can do, you can just create a new file. Let's say that command 1.js or ts anything. Now this will not consider. So if any files that you're adding, like here, let's say that I'm going to add here one actually here, and then let me just remove this one, and something I'm going to write here. So I'm going to write some command here. Now to access this one, definitely we will be accessing this method actually in our test case, right? Let's say like this, you have 100 different methods are there, okay, and another method you added into the command.js as well. Now what is happening, Cypress will not directly take from this command 1.js. It will only consider from all the methods that you have written inside the commands.js. How do you make this one also part of your Cypress command? Simple thing is that you have to go to the index.js, and you have to write another line of code and give the path name as well. So I have this one, right? Now any methods that you're writing in commands.js or command1.js, everything will be considered as part of your Cypress command. Okay, so these commands you can directly use it here, like let's say sci.login, so you can directly call like this, and whatever parameters you are setting there, you can pass the parameter from here. Okay, so all these custom commands will become part of your Cypress commands, like you are using visit, type, and all those things. Okay, now let's talk about the benefit actually. Now the benefit, what is the benefit? Yes, you are right. So there are certain situations where you're writing repetitive modules actually. Let's say login functionality, a very basic example where you might want to do, I mean, let's say that if you have 100 different test cases are there, 100 different it blocks are there, and 100 times you want to log in to your application, or let's say that you want to log out, okay, or you want to do certain settings in all of your test cases. Now those things you have to repeat it, right? Or you have to create a utility method, take an object of that class or something, and then call it. So in that situation, all those utility methods, you can mention it in the command.js file and then access it in your test cases by using simple sci command. That is the benefit, which will reduce your number of lines of code, and all the implementation will be hidden behind your code actually, or behind your test case, which is easy to read, easy to debug, and then any non-tech person who is coming, they can easily understand what exactly you are doing. If you're writing all the implementation in your test case, it is difficult to understand what are the functionalities you are automating on that particular test case. So these are the benefits you are getting. Fine. So as we understood the benefit and where to write the modules, let's get started with the implementation. Okay, so I will be trying to show you all these different ways actually, and however it is needed for your application, you can utilize. Okay, fine. Now for the first one, where it is a parent command, where it's giving already a login method. Now I will show you how by writing a login method will reduce your number of lines of code. So as I told, I will be taking this saucedemo.com website, and I will be writing a login scenario. Okay, so I will write first as if I don't have any command. So as you can see, I didn't add any command yet here, I mean into this commands.js. So if I don't have any ready-made command, how do I write the login functionality? Let me copy paste real quick those things. Okay, so this is the login actually, where you are identifying the username field, password field, and then you're clicking on the sign in button and verifying whether it is logged in or not. So this is pure login actually. Let's say a valid login scenario. Okay, now let's say that the same, I mean, you are verifying this one. Let's say that you have another test case actually. For an instance, let's say that if you have another one where you are logging in, verifying whether it is logged in or not, and you're right, some more functionality there, maybe adding, items to cart actually. I mean, for sure, if you're adding this functionality, you have to log in, right? So this is very much a prerequisite actually for any kind of test case. Let's say that if you have five more different test cases are there, for sure you have to add all these things, right? So instead of mentioning here all these things, what I can do, I can create a login method here or a custom command, and the syntax is like this, and inside this I will be adding all these things. So what I can do, instead of writing all these steps, so there are three steps, right, to log in. Okay, so these are the three things which I will do a control C, and I will be adding inside this one actually and saving it. Now here what I can do, instead of repeating all these three steps, I mean what I can do directly, I can do like this login, and then here I will be passing the username and password. That is the thing I am going to do here. Like this I will be doing that. Now you can see all those three lines now reduced to one line actually. So like this I can do. Don't worry about this error. Now let me fix all these things. So for fixing this, and let me go back to here. See here, email and password, these two things I want to use it, right? And this username and password can change during your course of execution or during the tenure of your project, right? So instead of this, I can do directly email, and instead of the secret sauce or the actual password, I can directly do like this. Fine. Now this is done. This method is done, and I can use it directly in my test case like this sci.login. Okay, and here I can pass all these things. So now here you can see there is a error it is showing, or a warning that login does not exist into the sci or event emitter. It means that because I'm using TypeScript file actually, so this is not able to track it from this JS file. So for this you just have to do one extra step actually, that is very straight step. I will show you that. Go to the support folder, right click, new file, and then say index.ts. It's a index.ts file, you need to create it, and you have to write these particular lines of code. Let me copy paste that one. Okay, so what you have to do, the method that you are creating into the commands.js file, this login, you have to add it into the index.ts, and you have to say what kind of email and password type. Basically we are sending the string type, right? And then what this login is returning, basically this is not returning anything. That's why I made it as void. If your methods are returning an element or a string or a boolean, you can give that a type. This is basically the typical TypeScript type. So you create a variable and you have to specify what kind of data type is there. So as you add different methods, you have to keep on adding the method definitions, or I can say that the method signature. What is the type of that particular parameters, the function or the method parameters, and then the return type of that. That's the only thing you need to add it. Now you can see the login error which we were getting is gone actually. Now basically there is no difference between these two test cases. Either you can write these three lines of code, or you can write just one line of code. Now in this case, let's say that I have a valid and invalid scenario. Now if I'm writing this classic approach, I have to write these three lines of code again and then change the values, right? Now here you don't really need to do that. You just need to send the parameters, I mean the email and password as a parameter, and then your command.js will do that for you. Now let me run this real quick to show you whether it is working fine or not. So for this I will be opening my terminal, and then I will say Cypress open, and this opens, and let's go to my command samples.ts and click on this to run. And you can see, let's see what is the problem here. Oh, the problem is that here in this index.js, it is command one actually. Okay. And now let's go to this, and here you can see now I just disabled this one, and let's see if this is really working fine or not. So I'll just control S, and then if you go here, you can see it logged in properly. You can see it first went to this one and then it entered the value and then password and then entered this one and then clicked on this sign in button, where you can see this field is coming. The test case looks a lot cleaner, right, in this case, and a non-tech person is coming, they can get to know that the login is kind of doing all the login process whatever it is required, and the implementation is hidden behind this commands.js file. Okay, so that is how you can use it. Now this is the first one. You can see this is parent command. It means that I can log in, I can use this login method along with sci. Actually, like I cannot do like this sci dot get something actually here and then say dot login. I can't do this one. Actually, it will definitely throw an error because it is not yet it's not a good approach. We have already mentioned this one as what you call parent command, so that is why this will not work. Now the second thing is that if you go here, it says that it's a child command. Now you can create a command which can work with your sci command and also which can work with your sci dot something as well. Okay, so now let's see one example of that. So let's say that you want to kind of identify the number of links of a particular web page or under a certain what you call parent element. Okay, so how do you do that? So for this, we can create a child method actually, which we can use along with your sci command, and also we can use with a parent command as well. So for this, what I'm going to do, so let me go to my commands.js, and here I'll create one more. For this, I'll first copy this one. Okay, and here, and let me say that get links. Okay, so I want to recreate a scenario where, let me just give you one example actually, and for this I will be using a different application so that I can explain you well. So let me go back to this one and I'll come to this site, and here let me go to the probably sign up page. Okay, so here, as you can see, to get the links. Now, if I say that sci dot get links, basically this will return you the number of elements, number of links on a particular screen. Now, when I say sci dot get links, it will give me 1, 2, 3. Okay, and even this one is also there. So there are 4 links are there. Let me show you that. So if I inspect and go to this selectors hub and I will just say A, then you can see it is identifying 4 different links. But now what I want to do, I want to get the links in between this particular parent element. So let's say for an instance, this is my, if you see, this is a field set, right? Now if I do like this, field set of A, now you can see there is only one link like that I need. So it means that when I want, I need the entire pages, all the links, but sometimes I might need with respect to a particular element, inside that element how many links are there, that one I want to identify. Now these things I have to write different sets of code actually for this one, right? So instead of that, I will create a common method and I can utilize it wherever I need. Fine. So for this, you can see the command is bit different. You can see there is a new thing, that is previous subject. Now this previous subject is nothing but if you want to do something along with this parent command. So whatever it is returning, this entire thing is your previous command. Previous subject means it is giving you one element. Okay, so either you can have this particular element present. If this element is present, find inside this element how many links are there. If this element is not present, then you just gave me that entire link text, whatever it is there, the number of links are there. Okay, so what I will be doing, I how do I know that the user is giving a parent command or not? So that is based on a if statement. So I will say subject. So this previous subject is nothing but this subject, the first of your what do you call parameter here. So I will say if there is a subject, means if there is a parent command, what you can do, sci dot wrap, I will be wrapping this element, and this is just an element only. Element means the Cypress element locator actually. So that's why I'm wrapping this one and inside this, because I want inside this, right? I will put a dot and I will say then, because I have to resolve the promise, and I will be doing like this, and we know already this command, right? So I'm writing as it is here. So what I will do, once I got that wrapped, that particular subject whatever it is there, now I will be wrapping this particular element. Okay, so here I'm doing this one, and then I will say dot find of a. Okay, so now what this will do, this particular line of code, if there is a subject, if there is a parent element, let's say that I'm doing here like this, I will do sci dot get of set in some element locator here, some element, and then I will say dot get links. Okay, now when I'm doing this one, it means that I have a parent element. Now this entire element is nothing but this subject. Now let's say that I don't have this one, actually somebody just want as a parent one, simple thing I will do sci dot get of a. Okay, so it means that now here I'll show you this one. Now this will be treated as like this. If I want like this, now for this one, I'll just say that sci dot get of links. I can call like this. Fine. Now just to understand this one, let me show you one example, and let me make it as X as well. And this is my, I can say, valid login custom command parent. Okay, just for better understanding. Now let me create another it block, and in this I will be writing the, oops, sorry. Now in this I will be doing custom command, but instead of this it's a child. It's basically child, and I'm giving an option actually here where I can give like whether it is required or not required. Here, let me do one thing. I will be traversing to this particular URL. Okay, and let me go here, and then instead I don't want this one, and I will say sci dot get links. Okay, now this one I'm giving the subject as a optional. Here I don't have the subject here. Now this subject is not there because there is no parent element. It means that it will execute directly, means on this entire screen, whatever a tags are there, you give me that. It means that how many I will get, I will get 5 actually. So that is what, let's identify. So here I will say should, I will create a command here, and then okay, the reason is that I have to go here and then create get links definition here. Now in this actually I will be adding all the links. Now get link, what exactly it is returning me, see I'm not sending any parameter into this, so this is a chainable element actually. So this is a chainable element. That's it. You just need to do that one. Now you can see the get link error is gone. Now here I can say have length. How many length actually? This is 5, right? Which we already got it. Now I can do like this. Now I will create another one. Now in this case, I will write a subject. Subject in the sense field set. Now field set, under this field set, I want how many links are there. And basically how many links are there under this field set? I have only one actually. So I can copy paste this entire thing here. Oops, so here it should be only one. Okay, now that is what I want to see. If let me repeat it again, so if I'm going to the selectors hub, and then if I'm giving only a, it is getting 4 elements, so it means that this will be 4. Okay, because I don't have any parent actually. This is taking the entire screen actually, starting from the root of your HTML element. But when I'm doing field set of A, it's only identifying one element. Now field set means this is my subject. Now this within this subject, I'm trying to fetch the a tag actually. So that is why it is only one. Let's see if this works fine or not. I'm removing the skip tag and click on this one and go to here. Let's see what is this problem. So parent command must come first. Let's see what it is. And this is basically like what I need to do here is that this one is optional I need to give. So when I'm saying optional, it means that this getLink method will work with your sci command and also as a child command as well. Okay, so this is coming in single quote and then save it. And here you can see this worked actually. So when I'm taking this one is what do you call sci dot, let me go to here. So sci dot get link, so it is coming, it is finding all a tags from root actually, but here it is finding from field set as a parent actually. So here it's not from here but field set as parent element. Okay, so that is why it is only having one, and you can see it is only identified as one. So like these scenarios you can use it with as a what do you call parent element and as a child element as well. Now this is basically your dual command actually. Here if you go to this commands.js, so we have seen the parent and we have seen dual command actually. Like this child command we can use it based on an optional actually. Here if you're not giving optional and if you're giving element, it has to go through sci dot get of something dot this particular method. I will show you this one actually now. So we are clear with this dual command. Let me show you the child command. Let me copy paste this one here, and if I'm coming here and let it be all these things. So here I will tell you one thing, maybe get text. I will show you one example actually, one real-time example with this dual command, with this child command. So here you cannot use a dual command. It has to go through as a child command only, this one. So let me write it here. And you can see here I'm passing as a parameter. Here no parameters are there. It's directly the subject only here. If you want any parameter, comma, you can give different parameters and you can utilize along with this. Now this is only child command. For an instance, it has to go like this: child dot get get dot get text. You can write like this. This is mandatory. And here this one, or sci dot get links. Like this you can utilize this is the use cases from here. Now to explain this what you call child command only, I will show you one example actually. Now let me go back to our source demo application. Here you can see now there is a username text box, right? Now if I right click on this and inspect it, so anything that I am adding here, how will I verify like what I have entered it actually? So this is we are using the value actually, invoke value property. We have already seen in our previous session. In the text boxes we are using that. Now in case of buttons, let's say that it's a button. Now here we don't have any text here, so we are taking the value as well. But let's say that I want to fetch this particular text. Okay, now in this case what are we doing here? I don't have any value property here. I have this display text. Now to fetch this one I will be using the invoke text. I will show you this one what we did here. Now any text boxes are there, you will be using the any text box is there, you will use the val property, invoke val. Okay, if you are looking for any buttons or any div or span elements, you have to use the text. Now what is happening in real time, you have to make sure that if it is a text box or if it is a span, accordingly you will be calling either text or val, which is like difficult, right? Why not I can prepare a particular common method where depending on what kind of element it will return me. If there is a value, it will return me the value. If there is no value, it will return me the text. That is what I want to make, so that I don't want to write to invoke text or invoke val while writing the code I need to remember that what to call actually. So that calling I will be making it here actually directly. If you're not understanding, just hold it up. I will be writing this and then you will understand that properly. So what I will write here, so whatever I'm accepting there, this element, whatever I'm accepting that, what you can do, you can wrap it actually here. So you can wrap this element and you will invoke first the text property. I will tell you. Now you should not be asking me that, okay, you said text and value, both you can fetch it, right? Depending on whichever is present, but you are taking text. The reason is that first I'm arbitrarily or blindly I am fetching the text actually, be it what kind of element is there, whether it is text box or button or div, whatever it is there, first I'm fetching the text property. Now what I'm doing, I'm putting a done here or a then here. Now value, and I will match it here. If there is a value, then display that. Or if there is a text, if the text is evaluating or the text is coming, then you take that text. Text means I will compare here. So is the text is really null or not? So I will text and then I will say, and this is how we are comparing. If the text is no, if the text is null, it mean or blank, what I'm going to do, it means that I will take the value property. So I will say invoke and then I will say val. Okay, so if the text is blank means there is no text, then I want to fetch the val. If the text is having some value, then the same concept I will be writing, and here instead of this I will take the text property. As simple as that. Okay, now this one I'm saving, and as usual, as you are adding the custom commands here, what you need to do, you need to add another here one method definition or signature, whatever you say, and this is get text, right? And you have to add the specific details actually. Now get text, what it is accepting, I can return any. Okay, because I see I'm not accepting any parameter because this is a child. It means that sci dot get something dot get text I will be calling. And if you don't know the return type of this, you can put as any. Okay, the TypeScript will evaluate at the runtime. Fine, now this one is there. Now how to use this child command? So for this, and this is a dual child. Okay, this is dual child. Now here I will copy this one and I will paste it and I will make it as X, and this is only child. Okay, now on the again I'm going back to my this particular application. Don't worry, I mean whichever it is applicable, I'm just going through these details. First, I will show you if I don't have this command, how do I do that? Let's say that I don't have that particular get text. I want to just do like this. And if I'm typing something here, I'm typing something here, how do I fetch it in real time? So I will say that sci.get, and I will say this one and then dot invoke. Now see here I need to remember that it is a text box actually. It is a text box. It means that I will be invoking the val property. Then I will say dot and then I will say value. Now the second thing is that I want to fetch the value from this actually, which is a login password. Now I'm copy pasting this one. Now here I will say sci.get and then here, and because this is a class, I'll just put a dot. Now here I'm seeing that it is a text actually here. This h4 is there, right? Now here let me do one thing, and this is h4. Let's say that I want to get this particular text. I know that this is not a text box, that is why I have to invoke val property actually, sorry, text property, because it is not a text box. And then the same process I will be copy pasting this one. Okay, now let's see if it is printing or not. Okay, you can see now it added that and it is logging me back standard user. The same thing, I'm identifying this h4 and it is printing me the text actually. So here I have to remember actually while writing the code, I need to remember if this is a text box or not. Now after writing this get text, I don't need to do this one actually. Let me comment this two things and show you how easily I can do that. So here what I will do, instead of this invoke property, I really don't care about what it is. I'll just say get text actually, and then the everything will remain same. The same thing, I'm copy pasting this one here, and then here I don't need to do this one as well. I'll just say get text. Okay, get text, and then this should be good to go. Now in while writing the test case, you don't need to remember that what kind of text box or non-text box, whatever it is there, whether to call the invoke as a text property or invoking the value property. Fine. Now one thing to note here is that I can't do like this. Okay, it will throw me error actually, basically, because I mean at this moment it's not giving, but in the runtime it will give you an error. The reason is that this get text is a child command actually. If you come here, it's a child command. I'm not making it as optional, so that is why I have to go through like this. So this is my parent command and this is my child command. That one thing you need to remember actually. So let me save it, and you can see the same thing it should come. Let's see what is the problem here. It is coming. Oh, okay. So this one I'm taking as subject, right, as a parameter. So I need to take, oops, sorry. So this one I should take like this, and it should run now. Yeah, you can see. Yeah, you can see now by taking this get text property, now it is printing this one. Okay, so from here it came this one, and from this particular h4 it came here. Now I don't need to worry about that. In my test cases I don't need to worry about what to call. Fine, so that is one of the advantages of that. So any kind of like this stuff you can do that. One task actually I'm giving you here, what you can do. Now whenever you are going to a iframe, actually an iframe, let me go to an iframe. So you cannot visit directly to this iframe actually. You have to write certain lines of code actually. So whenever you are handling multiple iframes, let's not write everything from the beginning. What you can do, switch to iframe. You can just write one command here, and then you can call it whenever you need from here. So that is one of the use case of creating custom commands and using it outside. Okay, now the next one we will be seeing an overriding. So overriding your existing or the predefined Cypress commands. Like you can even what do you call this, get, type, all these things, whatever you are doing, all these commands you can even override that. It's very rarely used, but still you can use it. I will show you one real-time use case of that as well. So let me just copy this one and then paste it. So now as you can see, we are adding so many different custom commands, and in real time when you work, you might be adding so many different other actions right into your commands.js. So that's why I've said that you can even split this command.js into different files, and then just mention that in the index.js, and Cypress will take it further. So how Cypress does, first, whenever any method that you are using along with your sci command, first it will look into its own library. If it is not present, it will come back to this support folder actually, to see if the user have customized that or not. If it is still not found, then it might throw an error. So that is the concept here. Fine. Now let me go, and here one thing to note is that if you are using this command overwrite, you have to use the naming convention as it is defined in your Cypress. You cannot give your own name here because we are overriding an existing, right? So type. Now why I'm taking this one, let me show you that. If I go to the sign off form here, you can see I will be adding something actually here. Okay, now let's say that I'm adding QAB box. Okay, first time let me show you that what is the problem. Let me just keep like this, and let's create another it block. Okay, and here let's make it as skip so that it won't run every time, and I will be deleting everything actually. Or maybe let me go to this particular application only. Anyway, it is open, right? So let me go to here. And here, what I'm going to do, so the same thing I'm repeating here. The same thing I'm doing two times. Fine. Now let me save it. Okay, because it is, see now what is happening, this type is there, right? So it is directly going to this type and it doesn't do anything here. Nothing is written. That's why you can see it's not even typed. So here itself we can understand that it is taking. So first thing is that first I'm removing this one. See, this is the problem actually here. If you could see this one, standard user, and again it appended on top of that text box actually. So for some reason, let's say that you have typed something in some other test case or something, and or maybe at the beginning of the test case you did something, again you are trying to add or enter something. Now it's two times it is adding there, which I really don't like. Every time I do type, it should not append to your existing text box actually. So that's why I want to make sure that whenever I'm using this type command, it should delete first whatever existing text is there, and then it should go back, it should enter again. That is what I want to do. Fine. So for this, what I'm going to do now, let me remove this one. Okay. And here, what I'm going to do, first thing is that I will create a constant actually here, and I will say cleared text. Okay. And equal to here, what I'm going to do inside this, I will first do select all. Oops, this should be select all, and then I'm going to do the backspace actually. So this is basically what do you call command your key press execution of what actually, of your text actually. So this text will be like this. So here it should go as a text. Now see, for each kind of method you are using, the parameters will be different. Okay. Now for this actually the parameter would be element, and then there would be a text, and then options. You can just go to this type actually. Whenever you are going to this type, you will get to know all these types whatever inside this you are sending. So you can see there is a text and there is a options. These are, now that is what I'm going to do here. Now the original function means whatever it is written originally, Cypress is written, that you should maintain it. On top of that, on an element we are typing actually, and then what are we typing? This text we are typing, and options are common for everything. Okay, now the first thing what we did, we are clearing this text actually. Now this text, and I'm calling, and another syntax is return, and this original method or the function. Now here you need to do, now inside this you pass all the parameters again. Now instead of this, now this original method is this one actually. So I'm done with one parameter. On an element I'm doing that, I'm writing here. Instead of the exact text what I'm writing, instead of printing this text, what I'm going to do, I will do this one. So first it will delete, select everything, backspace, then you take this text to here. It means that instead of that text, I will be taking this one. And then options, if you're adding any options, like we have already options for each of the Cypress method, right, where you can remove the logs and doing everything. Now let me save this one and then run the same command here. Okay, now let's see what is happening. It's throwing some error. Let's see what is this one. Special character sequence is not recognized. Available sequences are select all. Okay, maybe okay, so these are the commands actually I can use it. Let's see, select all, and then backspace. Where is backspace? Here, backspace. So backspace spelling is correct. And let's see here. So this should be select all. So here it is a tilt sign actually. Here you can see this is not a single quote, it's a tilt sign. And then you save it. And then if you come back here, you can see now in this case, now two times I have executed, right, this one, but it is printing only once. That is how you can override your existing type command here. Okay, so that are the use cases of that. You can even change whatever you want actually. You can even stop by what do you call this type, whatever it is coming, right. You can even remove this log as well. So for this actually what you can do, instead of this, let's say that you are not looking to save this one actually. So what you can do, equal to these options is there, right? You can utilize this, and the syntax is, and you can just put like this, options and then comma log false. You can just do like this and then save it. Now you can see it won't print any logs actually, that type logs. Normally this log equal to log false we are doing in the options right here. So instead of doing in all type, you can directly do here only. Now this will be applicable for any kind of typing you are doing, just to reduce your number of lines of logs actually here. Okay, so these are the different ways we have understood actually dealing with what you call custom commands, and there are a lot of use cases are there. As you go inside and practice more and more, you will see the use cases, and for sure, like you might have a question actually, that how do we know that subject options, or like what is the URL options and all those things. Like these are very common actually here, and any kind of parameters that you want to send, you can send like this. You can add it in here actually, so that will become your parameters to this particular method whatever you are using. And for this one is bit tricky, overriding, so you can't have on your own actually all these parameters. You have to go to the Cypress own methods actually and then grab all these things. Like for visit actually, this is the parameter. Now if you want to go for type, you can't use the same parameters, you can use this these parameters. Fine. And then if you have any questions how to deal with any new requirements, you can message me, or you can even go to the Cypress Gitter link actually there. There a good community is there. You can ask your queries and they will be giving you all the options. And again, I'm telling, after discussing all these things, don't get overwhelmed. Don't think that it is that difficult. You can take all these requirements, whatever I'm doing here, try to change a bit in your own understanding. If it is working, well and good. If it is not working, go back to the Cypress community, they will definitely help you. And then don't grab everything at one time actually, this might be more, and then you will see that Cypress is becoming difficult actually for you. So go step by step, and whatever these details you, if you really need, then use it across your project. This is just for your understanding. All the features I'm mentioning here, you can grab it how much you can grab from here. And I will tell you one last thing, that you will be mostly using these kind of commands a lot. So anything that it is repeating, you can use it in your Cypress. And this is very common across, if you're using Selenium, Playwright, or even Protractor or anything. You create utility methods, right, in your own class, and creating methods. This is the same way. Just you, one benefit is that you add it in this commands.js file, and then use it anywhere in your test case by using the sci command. That is the benefit, and all of creating that object and then fetching the method is taken care by the Cypress backend API. Fine. Okay, so hope you have got a good idea about what is custom commands, how do we create, and what are the different types of custom commands, and when to use these things. Hope this session is helpful. Do subscribe to this YouTube channel and stay tuned to us. Thank you for watching.